Love is unconditional. Love does not mean that I will only love you if you do this. Love is not something that comes with a guarantee. Unconditional love means that I don't expect perfection. Unconditional love means that I love you because you exist, not because of the things you do, the things you say, the moves you make, or the mistakes or the prices that you pay. Love, unconditional love, is how relationships go through ups, downs, back up, down again, and on and on and on until death do you part. This love affair that I've had with black people is a very rocky one, but I promised you I wouldn't go anywhere. I told you that you muck with me, you stuck with me. You all said that you wanted this love affair, and I told you I would never forsake you or leave you. And I said that even if you turn your back on me, I would still love you. And because of that, I was always told that when you're doing things that please the enemy, you won't have a problem in the world. But when you're doing those things that please the Most High, when you're trying to work in the name of they that are created, for they that watch over you by He who is supreme, then you can expect that your address will be the only address that the enemy has. I'm so glad to be back with you all this morning, and I welcome you back to the Morning Mental. The Morning Mental that you have been looking for, the Morning Mental that has stabilized you and prepared you for your walk through the day, the Morning Mental that is more than just random talk, but actually thought invoking from a spiritual level for those of us who are melanated and all of our friends who appear to understand. The Morning Mental, which has become somewhat of a place where the real children of the Most High can gather. The Morning Mental, where we put on our glasses of clarity to see that which is being clouded by us. It would only be appropriate to all of you all who have hung out with us this far and made it into 2021. I welcome you to the next episode. You thought it was going to be easier? Oh, no, 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 no. We still got a long way to go. Before I begin, it is only appropriate that we all stop and pay attention and pay homage to the Most High. We're going to put all of our earthly issues aside for a second and take some time wherever you are to focus on the entity that placed you here. You see, I'm 10 toes down and withstanding attacks from all sides because I know that Yah has my back. It's okay if man has my back, but Yah has my back. That is why it is written, touch not my anointed. It is also written, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I find it interesting that we should start off with the word to the Most High. So even though I've taught you that the proper way to pray is internally between your spirit and His, because we have some in the room this morning who are not in tune or have not been taught, because we have some much folk in the room this morning, because we have some folks with us that just came along to see what's happening. We're going to have to submit a petition on the desk of the Most High before we dive into this particular lesson that I have for you this morning, which is, if it's only 144,000, what happened to everybody else? Hear Yahweh and answer me. For I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am godly. You, my God, save your servant who trusts in you. Be merciful to me, Lord, for I call to you all day long. Now bring joy to the soul of your servant. For you too, Lord, do I lift up my soul. If you know these words, please recite it along with me. You should know this by now. For you, Yah, are good and ready to forgive, abundant in living kindness, and to all those who call on you, you are loving. Hear, Yahweh, on behalf of all those gathered here this morning. Bring joy to the soul of your servant, for to you, Lord, do I lift up my soul. For you, Lord, are good and ready to forgive, abundant in loving kindness to all those who call on you. Hear, Yahweh, this prayer, and listen to the voice of my petitions. In the day of my trouble, I will call on you, for you will answer me. There's no one like you among the gods, Yah, nor any deeds like your deeds. All nations you have made will come and worship before you, and they shall glorify your name, for you are great, and you do wondrous things. You are Yah alone. Teach me your ways, Yahweh, and I will walk in your truth. Make my heart undivided to fear your name, and I will praise you, for your loving kindness is great toward me. Turn to me. Have mercy on us. Give us your strength to be servants. Show us a sign of your goodness, that those who hate me may see it and be shamed, because you, Yahweh, have helped me, helped us, comforted me, comforted us, uplifted me, uplifted us, and will unify us in the matchless merciful name of the Most High. I submit this petition on your desk because the children, the righteous, and the elect are being attacked. Father, Abba, I submit this petition. And on that note, I bid you all a grand rising and welcome you back to the Morning Mental. Seems like since the last time I was here, I have been drawn the attention of the government. And it appears now that I've drawn the attention of the other folks who may not be members of the tribe. I'm not sure. But what I am sure of is, it gives me pause this morning to put this on your mind. Why is it in the scriptures that they only talk about 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe? Why do they do that? When I was young, I used to always wonder, why is the number so low? Why is that number so low? I'm just putting this on your mind to think about this morning as you go through your day and you have to encounter people that may be, remember, we battle not against flesh and blood. So you never really know what you're talking to or who you're talking to or what spirit has entered the room for you. So we find ourselves as we go through this day that if you don't have this on your mind, you may find yourself entertaining demons. And yes, they come in physical form. I find it interesting because most people miss the bigger picture of what is going on. You see, it was the Most High who said that sometimes you need to be silent and listen to me. It is written that in the stillness of the quiet, his voice speaks to his children. The question then becomes, who are the children, because only his children hear his voice. And even though we have been warned many times not to associate ourselves with those who are not of the 12 tribes, even though we have been told time and time again not to intermingle with the Edomites, even though we have been told this, a lot of us believe in Yah, but we don't believe Yah because we don't practice what he has preached to us. So it becomes very, very apparent that the 444 I see you, but the 144,000 that I'm talking about is not representatory of all of us with a select few. It is representatory of those that will persevere through all of the BS and make it to the final judgment. Very interesting, because that means a lot of us will not get there. I used to always wonder, well, why is that? Because if things are getting worse, shouldn't we be getting better? Those of us that are strong enough to just stand. And then I did a little bit of research, and let me teach a little bit. Can I teach to y'all a little bit this morning? Because I missed you. Oh, yes, I have. I have come to wrap myself around your cerebral cortex once again and motivate you through your day so that no matter what they tell you here on earth, you realize that the classroom is back open for another session and you are the target of the exercise. So I would really like to say to all of you all that not only have I missed you, I can tell that you missed me too. I can also tell that the enemy is shaking in its boots, that we would pick up where I left off and that we would continue down the path of true unification, not some fake representation, but true unification in a higher level of our vibration to move us to our final liberation. That's not going to hit all of you all because some of you all are not here for that. Some of you are only here for entertainment. You know, the kings kept entertainment in the courts, and they would bring people in to entertain them while they were making decisions on the throne that affected the nation. And whenever something serious happened in the court, they would dismiss the entertainers and bring in all of their chiefs. They would bring in the architects. They'd bring in the warriors, the generals, the strategists, the medicine people. They'd bring in the brain trust, and they would address the issue. And then when things kind of got back to normal, they bring in the entertainment. And some of you all have walked up into this court this morning for entertainment because you're functioning at a low vibration level. You're functioning outside of the will of Yah. Don't get mad at me for telling you the truth. That's one of the reasons why I'm hated so much, because the truth is the truth is the truth. Oh yeah, is the truth. So I was wondering, well then, if we're going through all of this now, why? Why now? Why are things getting so turned up right now? I bid you grand rising. I bid you shalom. Welcome back to the Morning Mental, the most talked about, interrupted, censored, and a whole lot of other things at this point, social media broadcast. And I can say this to you, that the 30 days that I was gone away from you, or was it 21? I'm not sure, is very interesting to me because you see, I'm obedient enough to know when Yah has told me to shut up and sit down and be silent. Let the children show you what they've learned. Let the children of Yah show you that they have absorbed every lesson that you've taught. Sit back and observe them. They have gotten comfortable. But remember, I am the creator. You are just a mouthpiece. So I need you to shut up and sit down so that I can observe my children. And oh, did he observe? And oh, did we find out what I said before? If last year was the year of karma, then this will be the year of exposing. Not by me, not by anybody on earth, but by Yah. And remember, When you point one finger, there's three fingers pointed back at you. So as he exposes, remember, he will expose those things that even you thought could not be exposed. And that's why I love you all so much. Because there's so many others out here who have, quote unquote, exposed so much about me that I have nothing else to be exposed. Well, you know what that means, right? That means that now it's going to turn around and it's going to happen to you. Can this black man talk to y'all this morning? Can a black man massage your mental for a minute? Can the spirit of the Most High awaken in you this morning and you can actually look at your brothers and sisters and say, we got to calm down and get it together. The world is watching and the world is listening. Oh, did you not know that? And I wondered in my studies, and I want to share this with you, why things are happening the way they are right now. I'm like, I don't understand, y'all. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing wrong? And in his infinite wisdom, he said, because you look at things backwards. All of you do. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. I'm studying and I'm trying to walk in this. I'm trying to do the work and I'm persevering. And what am I missing? I mean, we seem like we're heading into the darkness. And he said, because I never said that. If you study the scriptures, it tells you that there was evening first. And then he said, let there be light. As a matter of fact, most of you all are unaware of this. But in biblical times, and even today with the Jewish holidays, the day begins at sunset, not at sunrise. We don't go from daylight into darkness. We go from the darkness into the daylight. And what that means to you is that all hell will break loose. All kinds of things will come apart. There will be earthquakes, famine, and all of the other things that are written. But amongst us as a people, we too will experience our own earthquakes, and we too will experience our own famines, and we too shall experience all of the same things that happen in the dirty darkness, because what's happening is we are being positioned, we are being pruned, we are being trimmed to go into the light, into the daylight. The day does not begin with the grand rising. When you arrive in the daytime, you are in the middle of your day. As a people, we are in the nighttime. We are on our way to our daylight. Our daylight is our liberation. Our daylight is our unification. Our daylight is making sure that when we reach the daylight, that when the sunlight hits us, that we are properly prepared, properly educated, properly fortified, properly everything. Because it is within the darkness that all of our tribulations happen. I'm sorry I had to lay that on you. But I need you to understand that this is not the time for you to panic and lose your mind. This is the time for us to figure out who the wheat is and who's the tare. There will be a falling away. It never said that it would be everybody. And I always wondered how the numbers get trimmed down. You see, the government realize that we were a threat of some type, even if it's to the moral fabric of this world that they control. And so they came. And then the people began to realize that they too had a stake in this. So some of you tried to pick up the yoke and run with it. And some of you tried to lift the heavy word and exegete from it. And some of you even tried to change the direction. But Yah says my word will never return to me void. And everything I've told you that needs to happen has already been written down. And how many times have I told you that he said that in the last days, I shall cause men, women, and children to dream dreams, to begin the prophecy. He said that. All of these things must come to pass. And they're happening right in front of your face. And a lot of the clues that he's leaving are happening right in front of your face. The problem is you're so distracted by the things he told you not to pay attention to that you're going to lose your way. You see, it's easy to follow Yah when it's the straight and narrow, but where he loses a lot of you is in the curves, like riding a motorcycle. And we're in some curves right now, and people are falling off left and right. They're not holding on. They're holding on to their earthly feelings. They're holding on to their earthly beliefs. They don't even realize that the spirit of fear, confusion, jealousy, envy, covetousness, lasciviousness, and a whole lot of others are just looking for somebody to ride on. And right now, your address is the only one that they got, children of Yah. If you're not a children of the Most High, this doesn't hit you like that. If you just here to spectate, it's not moving you like that. But if you're one of those people that know for a fact that I got my head in my word, I try to live my life by my word, I believe in the sovereignty of my people, and I just want what's owed to me, nothing more, nothing less. If you're one of those people, then I'm talking to you. If you're not, then I need you to stay in the spectator session and watch the show unfold. Because at this particular moment, I too represent that of the Most High, and I too align myself with all of my brothers and sisters unconditionally in love. You see, a lot of y'all like to see the dog. They say, Jay, where's the dog? Bring the dog up. Jay, bring on the dog. The problem with that is this. No one else can bring the dog up but me, because he knows my voice and he won't respond to anybody else's. Y'all know that. If you got a dog, you know that's what's happening. But at the end of the day, when Yah is talking, only his children will respond to his voice. So if this doesn't hit you, then that means that ain't your daddy. We all can guess who your daddy is. Your daddy is the father of all lies. Your daddy is the father of confusion. Your daddy is the father of division. Your daddy is the father of mess. Your daddy is not our daddy. And we're not knocking your daddy, because most people are just like their fathers or their mothers, depending on who they laid with. But in this particular house, here at the Morning Mental, I simply want to let you know that if you are a child of the Most High, then you too are carrying a ticket for the 144,000. People say, oh, when the Saints come marching in, I saw the Saints march in. They marched into Louisville. The Saints marched into Lafayette. The Saints marched into Brunswick. The Saints marched into Washington, D.C. The Saints have marched in. And you all, some of you, were in that number. But what they never tell you about the saints is what happens after they walk in. Because once the saints got in, there was some work to do. When the saints got in, there were some jobs that got handed out, and everybody didn't get the same job. And most importantly, when the saints marched in, they didn't hand out a crown to everyone. He gives you certain gifts so that you can do the job when the saints have marched in. And at the end of the day, I say this the same way that some other biblical characters said. I didn't ask for this, but because it was given to me, I'm built to carry it. And if you're a child of the Most High this morning on the Morning Mental, then it is time for you too to demonstrate that you are above the pettiness that will stop you from being counted in this number. Ye of little faith is why a lot of people are so easily shaken. Ye of little faith. is why someone who knows nothing about what's going on in your house can tell you when it's time to move out. Ye of little faith tells us that, yes, you run around and scream all praises to the Most High all day. But yet when it comes time for you to walk out, you function like someone who's never heard the word before. So when I talk about the 144,000 and I realize that we're still in our nighttime trying to get to our day, when I realize that when I see this, now I can sit back and say, okay, it's not even morning yet. But a lot of us want to live in the daylight. A lot of us want to act like the morning has arrived, but we haven't survived all of the battles and trials and tribulations yet. A lot of us want to get to the good loving, but we're not loving. A lot of us want to be loved on, but we don't return love. A lot of us want to be treated special. A lot of us want to think that we're above all the BS, but Yah has a way of reminding you that you're no different than anyone else. So I'm speaking to you today, this morning, and I'm so glad that you all could come back and join me here on the Morning Mental. Yes, the brother has missed you. I'm not going to sit here in front. You know, I knew a lot of y'all was sitting out here and trying to figure out how you was going to make it. And I'm sitting here trying to, how I'm going to make it without y'all. And they just had us in a condition where I needed to get back into my love affair. I needed for somebody to get off my side of the bed. I done told you about it. I am back here with you. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to forsake you. But let me be honest and say this to you. Don't get me mixed up with the God that shines through me. You cannot dibble and dabble in Yah and not think that it won't splash off on you and begin to change you. Yes, I missed you all too. I would like to take a moment to send out my well wishes to the young lady who hit me this morning, who lost her mother. She said that this is where she needs to be. She didn't want to be anywhere else. Sister, you are in the bosom of the family right now, and we all wrap our arms around you. I'm not going to publicize your name because I don't want people giving you fake sympathy. I want you to know that I put a petition on Yah's desk. And you already know, if you're a student, that the soul of your beloved mother is resting in Sheol right now, in the right section. You know, it's 3 sections. I taught on that. And I'm going to say these things to you publicly because you came to me broken, grieving, and asking, when do I get to the daylight? You will travel through this night, but this night won't last forever. It never does. Additionally, before I go, as I just wanted to come and put that on your mind this morning, the other thing that I find interesting about the 144,000 is, and this is going to sound very interesting to some, is the sun. No, not the Son of Man, the sun in the sky. Have you all ever noticed that when you look at the sun, it's always the same size? Yes, it is. It's always the same size. Clouds can get in front of it. Trees can get in front of it. A house, a building, your hand, the moon, anything gets in front of the sun. And all of a sudden we don't see it. Even though we can see its light, we still can't see it. Even when they spray the skies, we still know it's there because we can see the light coming through. But the sun is always there, constantly. The interesting thing about that is we tend to think of the sun as being small because things get in the way of it. And we think those things are bigger. Yes, we do. And what happens is when those things move out the way, the sun is still sitting there being obedient, shining light down upon us and activating our melanin. But here's the part that most people miss. You see, the sun and those objects, which are in actuality very, 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 very small compared to the size of the sun, it is representatory of the relationship between you and Yah. You see, Yah is consistent and he's great and he's mighty. Your problem is because he's consistently there, you think that things that block him out that are in no way near the size of Yah are more important. So you don't see Yah. You begin to put Yah low down on your totem pole. So what ends up happening is when some type of drama comes along, when some type of medical situation comes along, when somebody is doing something to upset the peace in your life, because you think that that's all you see in front of you, you forget the fact that Yah is right behind that and he's much bigger, much larger. And if you can continue to see past all of the dysfunction and remember what's behind the dysfunction is your Father, then you won't have a problem facing anything. Some folks have asked me, how am I doing since the feds paid me a visit? And they asked me, how am I doing while I'm on my pre-trial release on bogus charges? And people always ask me, how am I holding up when they do things like take away my First Amendment rights? And, how are you going to make it? I saw a lot of that. And I've been the same person that I am right now. Cool, calm, collective. Because I know there's something bigger behind this small thing placed in front of me. There's something bigger than these small things placed in front of the children of the Most High. These are small things that are placed in front of the path to our liberation, reparations, and restoration. Because if we continue to focus on what's behind it, Yah may seem to be far away, but in his matchless, merciful wisdom, he's gifted you the ability to see him. All you have to do is use your 3 eyes. The sun is so massive that anything that you've ever seen that blocked it out, to include the earth and the moon, would be consumed in an instant because it is so large. Yes, it is. He will put things in front of you to see where your vision is. He's putting things in front of you right now to see where your vision is, because I keep landing on the same scripture. Are ye of little faith? You see, it's easy to be on the team when we're winning. But people's true colors get exposed when things go wrong. I can't do this no more. I'm not sure anymore. I'm confused. Then that means either A, you're not talking to the Most High, and B, you're listening to your flesh. And nothing good comes from the flesh. That's my word to somebody this morning here on the Morning Mental. As you go about your day thinking that you are one of the 144,000, just remember, in order to be one of the 144,000, the first thing you have to do is keep your eyes focused on the Most High, no matter what someone puts in front of you. And the second thing is to also remember, we are in the night going into the day. We are not the day going into the night. The reason being is because if we were already in the day, that means that for all the successes that we have, for all of the accomplishments that we would have, it would mean that it's destined to fail. And that is not the model that the Creator gave us. I would like to take this time before I go to thank all of you who have contributed monetarily to the Grandmaster Jay Legal Defense Fund. I would like to thank all of you who have sent words of encouragement. And I would like to thank all of you that have stood fast and held your ground when you already know you haven't done anything wrong. So why are you acting like a criminal? At the end of the day, also, all of you who are smart enough to remember, for we battle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Keep your head focused on what's above you and not what's to the left or the right. And if anyone is trying to divide you away from your path with your walk with Yah, then that means you must be one of the 144,000. That's my word to somebody this morning. I really would like to hang out with y'all a little longer, but I have a very important day. And it's interesting how busy the enemy is. If you haven't heard, 2:00 today, I will be doing a world address to the entire continent of Africa, to the entire United Kingdom, to the Mediterranean, to the entire Caribbean, and also to the entire eastern half of South America. You see, I'm going to go speak to the other 180 million melanated people outside of the United States. If you're available to tune in, the details are here on this page. And then don't forget also, tonight we're back. That's right. You all know what it is. You know it was coming. You know you should have been prepared. We are back for Facts Over Feelings. That's right. Facts Over Feelings resumes tonight. And if you remember, when we were interrupted, I was in the 10-part series on the destruction of Black civilization by Chancellor Williams. And I think we left off with the brainwash. Y'all remember that. I'm hoping that you've been reading, hoping you've been studying, and hoping that you too will tune in for Facts Over Feelings, because now it's time for us to get back to the business. And anyone who's not interested in that, we bid you a farewell. And we wish you nothing but peace, because this is the year of the Exodus. That's all I'm going to say. And let no man put asunder what Yah has put together. He is the one who decides how our footsteps are ordered. He is the one who will decide whether or not we form the 2 million A march. He is the one who will decide whether or not these bogus charges against me are dismissed. He is the one who will decide the final disposition of each and every soul that's listening to my voice. And as long as I know my ways are pleasing to him, as long as I know my heart is pure to him, I will not participate in the destruction of another Black person. There are enough of us doing that already, because at the end of the day, you have to raise the question, who's in the 144,000 and who's your daddy? I bid you all peace and shalom. I ask that if you haven't donated to the Defense Fund, please go to the GoFundMe site. It's in my link. If you still would like to contribute to the NFAC, which is going strong, you can go to blacknfac.com and continue to support. Or if you just want to leave words of wisdom and encouragement for those around you who may be falling to the wayside, and let them know that the people are back in the house. The teacher is back in the house. The preacher is back in the house. The rock that's going to get us somewhere that we haven't been before is back with you. I told you I would never leave you nor forsake you. And by Yah's will, here I am again. I bid you peace. I bid you shalom. And to my young folks, if no one's told you that they love you, Grandmaster Jay does, because you are the future. To my sisters out there, from a real Black man, I love you for what you are, not what you can give me or not what you can do for me, because you were created so that my race could continue. And to all my Black men out there, all my real brothers, we are still one. We just have to get from the night into the day. I love you all. I really do. And it's good to see you. And I hope that you're happy to be back on the Morning Mental. And I'm Grandmaster Jay. Shalom.